First, we're gonna let our special guest get in there. I know you had a lot of controversial Facebook, Instagram, social media posts. I know you're a huge Saints fan, being from Louisiana. So, what you want me to call you, Blake on here or Free Boy? What you want? How you want me to address you?
Nah, you got Free Boy tonight. You can stick to Free Boy tonight.
Okay, so Free Boy, man, talk to me, man. I know you had, like I said, some controversial posts. Let us know about the Drew Brees situation. Where you stand?
I've been communicating a lot with the New Orleans Saints Zone on Facebook and the Black and Gold Report on Instagram. And honestly, my honest heart about it is that he only apologized because heat was brought upon him. That's personal, because what I do, man, I look at and in 2016, when racism was at one of its highest peaks, man, and Kaepernick was being blackballed and ostracized, Drew Brees made those same comments, and he never apologized for them. Never. He never apologized for them. So all of a sudden, when the powers turn, you come out, and in this sensitive time, you make those exact same comments. So I forgive him, but can I say I accept his apology? No, I don't. I don't accept his apology, but I do forgive him. It's going to be acceptable for me if I see action. I want to see Drew Brees go ahead and speak about this case and push for these dudes to get convicted and to get what they rightfully deserve. Because Drew Brees, to me, black, I'm as a black, what we do too much is we forget too quick. We don't know how to and forgive, man. Forgiveness doesn't mean you wipe the slate clean. Not with your enemy, not with a system that's our enemy. Drew Brees spoke to a system that's been dogging us and dragging us over 400 years. He spoke for that. Why he didn't apologize that quick 4 years ago? Because the power was in the racist system hand. So that's how I feel. Then for him making the statement, he said that because grandfathers fought in the war. But what about our ancestors that fought in the war? His grandfather was able to come home, put on their uniforms, and it was applauded. If you study history, the same black people that fought beside them, when they came home, if they wore their uniforms, they were beaten, and some of them was even killed. And Drew Brees know the history of all of this. So to say something like that, in the midst of what's going on, not to mention, I knew George Floyd personally. Shout out to my homies, Corey and Ray. George Floyd used to be right here in the third ward, doing ministry, feeding the homeless, helping out the community. So this thing is close to my heart, you know, and I think it is a PR stunt. You know, I really think it is. And everybody's saying, oh, just move on, and it's about sport and this and that. Drew Brees still my quarterback. And this has nothing to do with him as a figure. This is man to man. You know, that's like, you know, it's like how I took it, and I'm gonna shut up after this. How I took it, like, you got Bloods and Crips banging, right? Well, if you go to a Crip funeral that was killed by a couple of Bloods, you be like, oh man, that flag don't really mean nothing. How? Let me break it down right. You got a Blood and Crips banging. Crips get killed by Bloods, and you go to that funeral speaking crazy about their flags or their rags. Wouldn't they get offended by it? Right? I don't know if I'm breaking it down right. Wouldn't they get offended by it? You know, how could you ask a Crip to bow down to a red flag that just killed one of their brothers? You can't ask that. So why everybody making this out to something is not? The American flag, the Constitution, all that has never stood for black people. And it's still not. For me to accept Drew Brees' apology I want to see Drew Brees go ahead and push to get convicted. I want to see Drew Brees get on the forefront to try to change some of these unjust laws for that's bad for minorities and for black people. That's what I want to see from Brees. So at the same time, I forgive him, but no, I don't accept an apology because they've been playing us for monkeys too long. That's how I feel.
All right, Duke, I know you're a huge Saints fan, probably one of the biggest Saints fans I know. You and Mr. C. You love you some. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't want to sound like that, but you like Drew Brees, you like Alvin Kamara, you like the whole squad. What's your thoughts on it?
All right. So I asked a question this weekend on Facebook, and I got chewed out because people took the question as if, you know, I automatically accepted his apology. And my question was, well, it wasn't really it was a question. I said, I've never seen people get mad at an apology. So what is the end goal here? So people chimed in, and the first thing somebody said was, you know, don't take up for him just because he's your quarterback. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off before I start getting into it by saying this. Number one, my Saints fanhood is not more important than my black skin problems. I just want everybody to understand that. Anything I'm saying is not because I'm a Saints fan. I'm saying this because that's just how I feel about things, and that's what's in my heart. So now that I got that out of the way, Drew Brees, he basically got caught playing both sides of the fence. That's just the bottom line, okay? What happened, I'm gonna explain that. When Colin Kaepernick did it, and he took the heat he took, we all seen that anybody who would have taken that same path as Colin Kaepernick, something not so good would have probably happened to him. So a lot of people wanted to jump on that bandwagon and say not to disrespect the flag, because at that time that was the right thing to say, to not lose your job, right? We even had one of our own black quarterbacks take that stand, and his name was Dak Prescott. Now, I don't know Dak Prescott's views today. I don't know if he still feels like that, but in Drew Brees' case, Drew Brees said what he thought was going to be the safe thing to say when he was asked it again. And at this time, he should have thought about what was the right thing to say. He should have thought about what we were going through right now at this time and understand that, you know, it's not about the flag. It never was. Never was about the flag. You got black teammates that you've been playing with all your life. Your whole career, you've been playing with black teammates. So you got some kind of clue about what's going on with the black community, because there, at some point in time, you got to talk to your black teammates about what's going on out there in the world. When those things happen, there's no way you're not talking to these people. So you had some kind of idea, but what happened was you got caught playing both sides of the fence. You thought that that was the best thing to say. And the reason why I'm saying that is because at the end, he ended it off with, we need to all remember that we're all in this together. But it's too late. You already said what you said. You already thought about your grandfathers and everybody you envision when you're talking about the flag. But at the end of the day, your grandfathers is not the only people who fought and did what they did for that flag, who represents that flag. And for us having grandfathers, you know, us black people having grandfathers that fought in the war also, that right there should show you that when we protest against the flag, that it's not about disrespecting the flag, because we wouldn't disrespect our own grandfathers. We wouldn't do that. So people should have had the common sense to understand that the first time it happened. when we took a knee, when Colin Kaepernick kneeled, he made sure everybody understood what it was about. The narrative changed, and everybody jumped to what the changed narrative was to save their jobs. Now, this is going to bring me to my next point. Drew Brees makes the apology, right? Okay, of course we're not going to accept it right away because he said it because of the backlash that he got. But he made another apology. The apology he made after he talked with all his black friends and people in the black community, you could tell that that one was a little bit different. That one was a little bit more heartfelt, and that he actually learned a little something. And you want to know what he learned? This is my opinion. But you know what? In 24 hours, Drew Brees got to feel what it was like to be Colin Kaepernick. In only 24 hours, he got slammed. He got stung hard by one certain, not even one certain community, because they got a lot of people that didn't agree with what he did. But he got stung hard. But guess what? Colin Kaepernick went through that same thing. And Drew Brees, you felt that. You said you didn't. You said you don't know what it's like to be black, and you never will know. But you're willing to shut up, listen, and learn. Well, that was your first lesson, right there. That backlash you got. That's how black people feel almost every day living in America. And you only got 24 hours of that, and you immediately apologize. Now, just like you said, just like y'all said, I didn't immediately accept his apology. I still didn't. I do forgive him. I do want to give him a shot. Why? Because I know Drew Brees is a good person. Drew Brees got a squeaky clean track record when it comes to him being a good person in the community and doing things to help people and just being a leader, you know, on and off the field. So I feel like because of the kind of person he is, that he deserves a second chance. No, the apology is not enough, and I never said it was enough, and I want everybody who chopped my head off this weekend to understand that part. I never once said that his apology was enough. We do need to see more. He said he's gonna do more. I think what he did so far is a good start, because we all know our president tried to jump in and tried to keep the controversy going by telling him he shouldn't have apologized. He should have stood on what he originally thought. Okay, that's cool. You might be right to a certain extent, but guess what? Now is the time for everybody to learn better, not stand on things that you know is not real. So Drew Brees decided to take the right path this time, and he challenged the president and told him, nah, after talking to my black brothers and people I know in the black community, I realized that it's not about the flag, and it never was. I'm going to help them be part of the solution. I felt like if anybody felt like his apology was a PR statement, I would like anybody to tell me how that was a PR statement. Because if that was a PR statement by challenging the president, that wasn't a good one. But that was the right thing to do and the right thing to say. So my eyes is open. I'm waiting for him to see. I'm waiting to see what else he's gonna do. You know, all of the players. My thing is this: if all of the players who are us, you know, giving him a shot because they know the kind of person he is, they all saying the same thing. You got Joe Horn, who spoke up for him before he apologized. You got DeMario Davis. He feels like Drew Brees' apology was true leadership, and he feels like, you know, that's pretty much what led. It kind of had a trickle-down effect, because immediately after Drew Brees apologized, we get an apology from the NFL. Now, let's be honest, everybody. Do anybody think that if Drew Brees didn't give this apology that the NFL would have apologized anytime soon? I don't think so. I think they did it immediately because that was the right thing to do after that time, after seeing what happened with
I
Drew
wanted
Brees.
to
Go ahead. You saying something, Keo?
yeah, I wanted to touch up on what you just said earlier when you said Drew Brees don't understand what it is to be black, but he's willing to learn and educate himself for it. And that's the same thing I said to you guys, like when you guys have these issues as African Americans, and I got a girlfriend that's black also, and I've always had, you know, black friends around me like Duke, True, and you know, everybody else that I do know. Like I always tell them, and I've told you guys this many times, man, I don't understand what it is to be black. I don't know what you guys been through, but I'm always willing to learn and try to understand. And you guys always, you know, you guys always, every time you do get the chance, always, you know, show me the history and kick me down some game behind it. Because for me, as somebody that's Asian American, I only know what my culture has been through, and that's the only thing that I know. But I'm always willing to learn, you know, what African Americans have been through and what they had to go through, and as you know, as a kid, and the issues that you guys deal with today. And that's what I just wanted to touch up on what you just said when it
Oh
came.
no, that was good. That was perfect, man. Because, bro, at the end of the day, that's exactly what's going on with Drew Brees. Okay, just like we had to sit you down, because Keo, me and you, we always talking about racial topics on the phone sometimes, and I'm just kicking you some knowledge on how things look to us and the reality of our situations. Okay, so just like I did that to you, that's what guys like Michael Thomas, Kamara, Demario Davis, people that's really close with Drew Brees in New Orleans, and people that know him personally, they're gonna be kicking him the game now. Because at the time, he probably didn't think it was that serious. And you know what? A lot of people that I've battled with, I asked them, do you think Drew Brees is racist? They all say no. So at the end of the day, if you don't think he's racist, but he said what he said, that's just a sign of misinformation or not enough information. He has to be put on game. He has to understand that it's that serious for us.
Can I jump in?
See, that's a benefit of the white. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but the truth is, white privilege does exist. When you live your whole life with white privilege, sometimes you don't understand these problems we have really are because you've never experienced them, and people that you really love or close to never experienced them either, to actually give you the game while it's happening. So at the end of the day, Drew Brees got to catch up. He got to catch up. He got to learn from the guys that's willing to teach him, and he got to be willing to stand on the right side of the fence during these times. Right now, we're fighting racism. If Drew Brees is not a racist, then Drew Brees is not our enemy. And that's what I wanted everybody to understand on my Facebook post. If he's not the enemy, then we don't need to stay mad at him. If he said he's willing to learn and he's willing to stand on side of us and fight the fight that we fighting, come on. Because at the end of the day, that's what the goal is anyway. We trying to get people like Drew Brees to understand and finally get it. We want them to get it. Go ahead.
Man.
Blake, can I ask you something real quick before you start?
Go ahead.
Do you think that Drew Brees is a racist?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead then.
Go ahead.
Because
your phone is breaking up, but go ahead.
hold on. What about now?
We can see you, it's your voice though.
What about now? You can hear me better?
You good, go ahead.
All right. The reason why I say yes, I think some people are racist and they're not even aware that they're racist. And I say that very, very carefully, but he said he had to educate himself for him to realize something. Then the NFL turn around and apologize. But what I'm trying to understand is it gets away from Black Lives Matter at a certain point. Lives matter. I'm trying to see how you got to educate yourself on being sensitive to somebody getting murdered in the street by the hand of a policeman. When the NFL, nor Drew Brees, nor the racist white system, I'm not saying nothing against white people, because the fact of the matter is the white generation of our time that's here today, we the one who's fighting for the change. We all fighting for it together. And that's why it's gonna change. But what I'm trying to understand is why y'all gotta educate yourself on something, on being sensitive towards a black life, when y'all brought the hammer down on Michael Vick for killing some doggone dogs. And I'm sorry I'm getting loud, but that man had to go to jail for 18 months because he was fighting pit bulls. But here, what they call us a nigga, being lynched in the street with a knee on his neck, and they gotta educate themselves on this stuff? That's why I say all this a bunch of bull crap. Their bottom line was affected, and that's their money. When you do stuff like that, just like the endorsements was pulled away from Michael Vick and all the rest of these people, that's what was finna happen to the NFL and Drew Brees, and they was finna lose their bottom line. It's never been about us. So if y'all could be sympathetic, and all these other racist people out here, y'all, nobody ever once said, give Michael Vick a chance. And he ain't did nothing to a human. He didn't speak nothing against a human. That was some doggone dogs, man. And they gave that boy the gavel. So excuse me if I think that they all liars. I forgive them, because that's what God wants us to do. Because I ain't gonna live with that in my heart. But they liars. It don't take nobody getting you learned to be sympathetic about a human life. Because if that was your child out there, you'd immediately come to their defense. And you wouldn't say nothing towards the other children or something that would make your wife feel bad. So why all of a sudden with us is always this throughout history, man? We can't never get a break. And that's how I feel. And I feel like the black people, we need to stand up like old girl did on the bus. She didn't just not go to the back. They stopped riding the bus. So I think it's time for black people, stop supporting the Saints for a little while. And let's kill their bottom line. Stop shopping to all these white-owned stores. And let's kill their bottom line. And then we'll see what it's really about. That's what I'm saying. The whole, we too easy going when they are never that forgiving towards us. We do something wrong and the gavel come down every time. So I ain't got no sympathy for nothing that they say, because they constantly monkey us. And they keep doing it. And it pains me to see us as black people, we constantly always put our hands up. Man, even Jesus went in the temple and started flipping them chairs. Even he did that because they were robbing and they were abusing people. So I'm trying to get it. Like I'm trying to understand. Everybody got a conscience. Everybody got a conscience. So you mean somebody got to teach you how to use your conscience? And it's just that's just where I stand on it. But that's me. And I think the same way they did us with the Black Wall Street, it's time to do their system like that. Of course, we ain't gonna burn it and bomb it and all that. But let's stop supporting these certain businesses and all this stuff. And let's see how it turned out then. And let's see what they talking about then. Let's see if Kaepernick get offered a job since the NFL apologized. Let's just watch him. And I'm just, I'm big off of what I see, because people wolf. And I don't disagree with anything that any of y'all say, because I believe it's more than one side to truth. And there's more than one way to look at stuff. But all this white racist society, for those who are like this, the only thing they have ever shown us throughout history is that they wolf. They talk a good game because they know black people are so forgiving. And they know we the undercard, and we gonna come begging like some little fools all over again. Drew Brees said what he said. He meant it. Regardless if he got the backlash, he meant it. He meant it. And like I said, I knew George Floyd. So I'm not speaking from the outside looking in. I'm speaking from the inside looking out. And he could have so easily speak because he didn't care about that man's life, period. And he don't care about a black life. So if his team wanna rock with him and all this and that, man, I'm not rocking with no enemy that put a system that's obviously at hand. It's here. It's here. I don't have no problem with nobody looting. I don't have no problem with nobody rioting. You know why? Not saying I agree with it, but I'm not gonna have a problem with it, because when these white people went out there and protested for the sake of social distancing, because they was tired of it, they had guns out there. And the once said that the National Guard was gonna be deployed on them. Or the cops didn't go out there and beat them with batons and shoot them with rubber bullets, shoot them with tear gas, and they had weapons. So America is getting just what it deserved. Like I say, I'm not for violence. I'm not for people hurting people or looting or rioting, but I'm not gonna speak against them when America, you caused that. And the powers are shifting now. They shifting. And you know, when somebody start throwing fire in the house, everybody start running. Everybody start running. So it's happening now, you know? And I'm happy to see it happening. Because it's about time justice start happening for us, man. I'm sorry for getting loud, but it's just,
Hey.
Oh no,
Hey.
man, do your thing. Say
see
it
how
how you
you-
feel, bro.